Hello, welcome to this new episode where my sister Becky, hello sis.
Hello.
We are both investigators and we're going to talk about the case, the Battersea Poltergeist. Now it's very imperative that you listen first to Danny Robbins' podcast because all credit to Danny, fantastic work. And we have covered the witch farm before, but let's get down to this series. Can't wait, Bex, can you?
No, and as we were just saying, weren't we? It's a massive, massive case, but it's something that I've never really looked into, believe it or not. So I can't wait to find out more about it.
The first start of the episode has Danny getting that box, the box full of Harold Chibbert's notes, the paranormal investigator. That's old school, that handwritten.
Amazing that he's got that as well. Like, I'd love to look through that.
Doesn't really go into detail of like personal views and that in this episode.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't know how much he's got of it.
No.
So we're down on 63 Wycliffe Road, home of the Hitchens family. And this case kind of centres around a girl called Shirley, aged 15. And she actually does a little soundbite about talking about fear and how fear eats away. And I think that's very true. I think it reduces people from the norm.
Yeah, and I think the more scared you get, the more, I don't know, I think the more things are maybe likely to happen as well, whether that be natural or supernatural.
Yeah, thinking things are a ghost when they're not. I mean, it's hard to tell one from the other when you're deep in fear.
Yeah.
Shirley identifies the spirit pretty early on as a him, as a he, which, you know, at this stage, it's hard for us to say, but kind of fair enough. It does go into detail of why that is a little bit more. I guess because it's a domineering, loud force as well. You think it's a bloke, maybe.
Yeah.
So the place itself was a poorer estate, but has since been modified, as a lot of these places have. You hear that, oh, it's not there anymore. We have an asylum near here, what was always really good for investigators, and now it's houses. And you think, ooh, would you want to live in those houses? You know,
Reach yourself.
Going through the family now, I'll put up a picture of the family. There's Dad, Wally, he's in his 40s, a train driver. His wife, Kitty, who is wheelchair bound. Grandma Ethel, who seems to be quite a beast, 6'4", 200 pounds, loud, Catholic. And then John, the adopted brother, who is skeptic. So there's a good bunch of opinions in the one house.
Yeah, I thought that, and a lot of different personalities by the sound of it.
Yeah. The newspapers have already been covering this when we hit the ground running here. It's mentioned that there's crackpots and media and, you know, the police have been through the house. I mean, I don't like people at my house anyway, but press and strangers, that would be just so disruptive to a family of that size.
Yeah, of course it would, and it's your privacy, isn't it? At the end of the day. Which
is something that they end up having pretty much none of.
Yeah.
So yeah, the family say that the media's been sensationalising the story. The media's never been very tactful, but I think back in those days, they were just like, the story was what's important and crush whoever it's about.
Not discreet at all. No care for anybody as long as they get the story.
Yeah, Demon House, this family.
Yeah.
This is who they are, this is where they live, yeah.
Picture posted all over the newspaper.
Yeah. 27th of January, Shirley finds a key on the bed on her pillow.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it was when she described the key. So she describes it as quite a large key, swirls on the end, and I could fully picture it. I could picture exactly the type of key that she meant. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, I've never had a key like that. I've never seen a key like that. But it was then what happened with it afterwards that was the intriguing part about where she put it and where it ended up.
Yeah. Now that's classic apportation where objects appear and disappear. Two things. Cy Booth, who is a friend of the team, he sent me a case maybe a year ago saying this woman got in touch with him and moved into a house or whatever, and then a key appeared in a bedroom. And not only that, a piece of paper, which I will put a photo of here, the deeds from the house, and the same name as her little tiny boy used to own the house. An adult with the same name. And these deeds appear from nowhere with her son's name on.
Well, that's spooky.
And it was like, why is my son's name on these old deeds? And why are we in that house? And where have these items come from? Never found where the key fit. But
that's odd. Did they have activity in the house?
That was all I heard. I was waiting to investigate. Nothing came of it. I don't know. So this never before seen key appears. That's what I want to say. My ring, which I will put that story in the description of the video and maybe end screen it.
That's
my wedding ring. Yeah, I had it. I got rid of it, good and proper, and it came back presented to me in such a bizarre way. And my lip seal. I would like to say on a much smaller note. My lip seal. I have a story about my lip seal. What was always in the one spot, and for days it was gone. And I came back, and it was right there. And I sort of looked at the room and went, "Yes."
Yeah, it's things like that. It's just when you can't explain it, it eats away at you. Then you try and think of a natural explanation, but if you can't, it's baffling.
There was a famous case of a garage where coins would always fall out of the roof. I mean, like loads of coins, old coins, and it would do it when the press were there. It would do it constantly. They just came out of the roof. Yeah.
So odd.
Okay, so this silver, fancy, old, swirly curls. Shirley puts it on the mantelpiece and goes to get it again, and it's on her pillow again. Again, it's of some significance, or that initially is a notice me, here I am, I've got a message to pass on.
Yeah, there's something. It's like almost like I'm here, hello. This is
It's like an omen of things to come.
Yeah.
It didn't fit any lock, unfortunately.
I find that stranger.
Yeah.
There's no explanation for it being. There's no reason for it to be there.
Yeah. Because humans have a strange relationship with keys. You keep them, don't you? Even though I've got keys that I don't know what they're for, but I won't throw them out. Yeah, I know.
That's what I found really strange about this episode. I could not understand how that had come to be. And she says, doesn't she? I don't think I put it. No, I definitely didn't put it. You know, she's questioning herself a little bit.
Yeah.
As you would question yourself.
As you would, yeah. So that night, the banging starts. Banging in the walls and everywhere.
Horrible.
I mean, weird. And skeptic John obviously thinks it's pipes and plumbing, completely rational, you know.
Yeah, because he's got that background, hasn't he? He's got the background in building, I think it said. So the first thing he did was check the boiler. It wasn't the boiler, but then he was like, hey, it's fine, you know, it'll be something pretty natural.
Yeah, I think he was a surveyor or something.
Was he a surveyor? Yeah, something like that.
Shirley nominates her dad and John to go to the attic. Thanks, Shirley. So up into the creepy attic, having a scout about, and nothing's found.
Apart from her dress dummy, which scares her.
Yeah, that's it. Then we're on for this series. We meet Kieran, we meet Evelyn again. Two sides, a more sceptical one and a more believer one, but they both keep pretty much mixed, don't they, their views. Yeah. Now, poltergeist activity from our point of view, the doggy daycare, a place in Colne where we go, when myself and Lucy were in the cellar after doing an investigation, I was bringing equipment in my hand up the stairs after we'd stopped recording, and I just heard things starting to fall and crash about, and I thought something was going to come poltergeisting down into my face, so I hot-footed it back to Lucy.
So after I was bringing things up on my own, Lucy was downstairs, I heard what I presume was this falling over ahead of me as I was at the foot of the stairs to come up, and I ran back to Lucy, like, did you hear that? And I didn't want to go up, but I'm going to tidy this up now.
That wasn't the end of it. I filmed the debris and everything and then tidied up, and then like when the owner came and said, oh, I saw your video, but after that we'd still had paints and things move around after you'd gone.
Yeah, and
that,
you and her had been in the cellar
doing
silly things. Is this at the same time, or is that
Yeah,
So,
stirring up.
and which would make sense? Like, yeah, stirring things up. It would make sense then why you'd get that, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's gone on though because just before Christmas, the holiday, they had a broken chair, plastic chair with like a broken leg, and they'd put it at the top of these cellar stairs. And there was kind of a fancy railing so that you didn't fall down the cellar steps. And they just sort of put it in a broken spot, and the chair had gone over and halfway down the stairs. And they were like, well, obviously, no one's thrown a bad chair down the stairs, so it really stood out that something was there.
And you had me do a solo in that cellar.
That is, yeah. In the attic, they find nothing, yeah. The neighbours, Lily, 61, and Mrs. Cameroon, aged 65, come to shout. It's 3 a.m. I mean, that
Which
must have
would.
been...
You-
Yeah, but that was... To get the neighbours round at 3 a.m. and everyone in the house is up, that's scary. Because
Significant banging, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, huge. They say it's like knocking. It's rather than being a random banging, it is like a knocking. They described it as trying to get in, but a purposeful rapping. You're not thinking, oh, it's plumbing, just like hitting something. You're like, no, someone is trying to tell us something.
And I assume that this is out of the ordinary as well, because the way that they're saying it, it's something that it doesn't happen every single day, every night.
No.
It's not something that's, if it was like the plumbing, it would happen
Yeah, you
regularly.
when you flush the toilet a minute after the pipes go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kieran says that banging is usually a first stage, and it's for attention. We would pretty much agree with that, right? That they do. Maybe not banging for us, but there's always whatever happens in a private home. Our first thing is yes, they're trying to say, "Hey, hello." Yeah.
But then I was questioning whether Kieran was saying that as a skeptic. So who's wanting the attention? Is it somebody in the house that wants attention, or is it a spirit that wants attention?
Yeah. Because obviously the family are going to be the first. Oh, you're just saying that to get in the papers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I guess being in the papers used to be a big deal. Now with the internet, nobody cares about being in the paper.
That's media now, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the way Danny tries to do the knocking in his house through the audio and see if the neighbours can hear it. Good idea. 80 decibels and one neighbour hears it properly. And then his speakers blow.
That was, even listening to that, I felt was quite spooky. I found the thought of doing that experiment would be quite spooky in your own house, because it brings it to life, doesn't it?
Well, also, what was that bloody sound effect? It was so creepy.
I know.
That wasn't a banging. That was some weird.
But yeah, blew his speakers, so it was pretty loud.
And yet the neighbour said it didn't particularly bother him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that loud. Well, how loud must it have been? Yeah. And the scratching in the wall. And scratching is a big sign. I don't think we've ever heard clients say they've had scratching, but I've heard of it before.
Yeah, it doesn't sound good, does it? It's not a good sign.
The case that became The Exorcist started with scratching.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's never
so
good.
Obviously it leads you, demons, but, don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened inside the furniture. Now that would freak me out.
Yeah, the whole thing would freak me out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In their bed, if scratching coming from inside my bed, I would be pretty freaked.
I can't believe they were still there. But then again, I suppose, what's your option?
You always hear that. Why didn't you move? Well,
what's your option? Yeah.
Yeah. So Chiv has a poke about, which is fair enough, and he bumps into Gran. And she's of gypsy origins and obviously speaks of believing in ghosts, but saying she's been brought up not to mess with it, which is a lot of the population's view, isn't it? It's like you don't go looking at that stuff.
No, just ignore it. It's not, if you don't think about it, or if you just ignore it, it's not there, it won't bother you.
Yeah, it's to be left alone.
Yeah.
Like Irish fairies, isn't it? They're like, you don't poke about.
Leave it.
And just like us, Chib says he doesn't charge. Good on him. Because, we are desperate for places to investigate, and that is the payment.
That's the thing. We just want to go places and make a difference. It's nothing to do with money.
We've all got lives. It's busy. It's hard to get us all together.
Yeah.
We want the opportunity, don't we?
Definitely. Yeah.
So they decide that it's a man, as I say, and then comically they end up naming him Donald, which is as good as anything. And then as they're talking about a spirit, which of course we've sort of touched on before when watching paranormal programs, do you open yourself up to communication? And I think there is a lot of that. When you focus on something, you are more open. And talking about him, he starts to move furniture in the mother's bedroom.
Yeah.
Again, in the mother's bed, in the mother's bedroom. I don't know whether that comes in relevance or,
It's focused in a certain area at the moment.
Yeah, I've got no more notes on this. I think that's it, innit?
I don't remember anything much more happening. I think it was more, that was it really. It was more a case of Shirley, didn't he move a chair or something? Was that upstairs?
Yeah, in the bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it then for now.
More does come, and there's newspaper articles out there, luckily, on the case. But it will be good to continue on and see what comes week to week.
Well, it's a well-renowned case, so there should be lots more to come, I expect.
Yeah. And if you want to check out the Witch Farm, here's the link. And we're on Whitehouse Investigations on YouTube, doing home Ouija board experiments at the moment. And thanks, Bex, as ever.
Yeah, thank you.
And see you guys later.
See you later.